Okay, so every now and then you come across a movie you weren't expecting a whole lot out of, and it just completely blows your socks off in the best way humanly possible. And, well, that movie for me recently has been Willy's Wonderland. I saw it for rental for $5. I thought, okay, it's a Nick Cage movie. I've seen some bad Nick Cage movies. But I've also seen some good Nick Cage movies as well. So it was a gamble. And it was a gamble I was happy to take. I'm going to really get into it now.
When the daylight's gone and you find yourself alone, standing face to face against the coming storm, there's no promise I can make to you to take your fears away. We just need to last the night alone and pray we'll see the day. And Willie's Wonderland.
Okay, so I don't really want to tell you what this movie's about. If you don't know, then I would say go in very fresh. To give you a rough synopsis, the movie kind of follows a drifter who's driving through, his car breaks down, and he takes an ordinary job of cleaning up a place to get his car fixed up. I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but trust me when I tell you, you want to go into this movie as fresh as humanly possible, and just be warned, it is a very violently graphic movie. But trust me, this is worth the watch. And, I mean, this movie is batshit crazy, good fun insanity to watch. I mean, just, if someone was to tell you what this movie ultimately was about, you just think, like, why would I want to watch that? But actually seeing it, it's just like one of those movies. It's like, why is this not a bigger thing than it already is? Because, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, from beginning to end, like, every moment is just, like, it knows what it's doing the entire time. And going into this, one of the drawing attractions for me was the fact that Nicolas Cage was in it, because unlike other actors, whenever Nicolas Cage does a B movie like he's been doing a lot lately, it feels like he gives his 110%. Other actors like Bruce Willis, unfortunately, they don't feel like their heart's into it. Case in point, son of a bitch! River! Why do you need braces again? Why the hell do you need braces again? Shit, I gotta do another movie now! Thanks! My life's already shit enough, I gotta do another movie now! Thank you very much! Son of a bitch! Whereas Nicolas Cage always kind of came off as, oh wow, a new script. Is it any good? Not really. I'll take it anyway. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, KG. Okay, it's time. You can do this. Okay, focus. Focus. Okay. I call upon my spirit animal, the Eagle Cobra, to give me the strength to best deliver this performance into this film. I mean, that's just kind of how Nicolas Cage feels to me. It feels like he tries his best with every role he does, regardless of how shitty the movie was. Alright? But it always feels like he gives his absolute best. And with Willy's Wonderland, it is no different. Okay? But that's why I've always given him the benefit of the doubt whenever I see one of his movies. Because at least he tries. At least he means well. And thankfully, with Willy's Wonderland, not only did he mean well, he hit it out of the frickin' park. Okay? Because, I mean, this movie is amazing. And one of the things I love about this movie is the fact that the movie pokes fun at horror movie tropes, okay? I mean, you have kind of a situation where you have the teenage kids going to a location. How many horror movies have that been in before? You have the movie poking fun at the trope where the teenage kids are all idiots. They poke fun at the trope that there's the token black guy, although there's 2 token black guys in this movie now. They was poking fun at that as well. Instead of there being 1, there was 2. It pokes fun at the trope of the 2 kids going off to have sex. I mean, you know, it just pokes fun at all of these horror tropes. How the last survivor is the final girl. Okay, it pokes fun at that. I'm not spoiling anything because I am really not getting into this movie. It may seem like I just spoiled something, but trust me, I did not spoil anything for this movie. You're going in fresh, trust me, when I tell you that watching this review, you're going in fresh. But, I mean, the movie pokes fun at all of these horror movie tropes, and one could say that they wouldn't notice them at first, but when you watch it a second time, I watched this movie twice, almost back to back. When you watch it a second time, you just start noticing, like, yeah, that always happens in horror movies, and they're, like, intentionally poking fun of it. So I loved that about this film. And the other thing I really loved about this film was the music. The music was, like, based off of, like, 1980s synthesizer techno music, more along the lines of, like, John Carpenter and good 80s, not the really shitty, like, mall type 80s with the leg warmers and, like, the cutesy 80s, I guess you could call it. I don't know what you'd call it, but there's kind of like 2 versions of the 80s. There's the really annoying, obnoxious version that, like, Wonder Woman 1984 focused on, and then there's, like, the really cool, like, stranger smoking and drinking version of the 80s that, like, Atomic Blonde focused on. I kind of lean towards more that version than that version, but, like, this version of the 80s is what clearly inspired the musical score to Willy's Wonderland, and I just absolutely loved every minute of it. I even have it playing during this review, so you can kind of get an idea of what the musical score is like with Willy's Wonderland. I gotta get me one of those shirts. I just gotta say that. But really, my only legitimate criticism of this film was there was a weird fisheye lens they used through most of the film. And, like, I've heard some people say, oh, that was just because of this one character was looking at... No, this happened well before and even after. Just, you have 2 characters talking there and here, and, like, there's just a weird fisheye lens. It's just, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But outside of that one criticism, I really have nothing bad to say about this movie. It was funny as hell. It was exciting, awesome, badass. There are certain aspects of the movie I absolutely love, but I can't talk about it because I'd be spoiling parts of the film. Just know that this is one of my favorite Nicolas Cage characters of all time. And that's after seeing him in movies like Face Off and seeing him with other stuff. I gotta say, this is like my top 5 favorite Nicolas Cage characters, alongside, like, Big Daddy. Alright, this character is almost as good as Big Daddy. I just absolutely love this character. and I want to see more with this character. So, what would I rate it? You know what? Screw it. I'm doing something very rare, and I am rating it this. Right here. Yeah. I enjoyed this movie that much. Despite the weird fisheye lens that they used in some of the scenes, this movie was a ton of fun. I absolutely loved every moment of this, and I just want everyone to see this movie now. It is incredible, insane, and I can't remember the last time I gave a 11 out of 11. It might have been my first video, which was the Doom video game. So, yeah. I highly encourage you to watch this as soon as possible. If you can, rent it for the $5. Actually, I think it dropped to like $2.99. It is worth every penny, okay? I guarantee it. I loved this movie. It was a blast to watch. So, anyway, my name's Chris with 11th Hour Reviews, and that is all. What are you doing? Go watch this movie.